again on this rainy day. We're going to work with the Therabands today. I figured some of you guys asked me to do a little recap on these, so this would be a good opportunity to do that. I realize that some of you don't have these. If you're local, hi down in Florida, by the way, but if you're local, I still have some left. Many of you guys bought these when I bought the big box of them, but if you want me to leave one outside for you or something like that and wave through the window, just text me. Otherwise, you can get your band, and those of you with long hair or even medium length hair, go pause this and get a scrunchie and put your hair up on top of your head if you can, because we were getting some hair issues, and I'm not going to be there to rescue you from those issues. All right, so how to put this on, or at least one of the ways that we work with this. I'm going to go from behind so you can see. What you'll do is you'll take the band and put it behind you like that. Okay, behind you. And I'm pulling it up here, so from the front it looks like this. It's going to go across the pecs here. Alright, so then you have this long piece that you then go behind and cross. You cross it. Okay. Then what you're going to do is you're going to bring it behind your knees. Okay, so it's now behind my knees. It's not going anywhere. And then you adjust these so that they're not out on your shoulder bones there. They're not going to roll off the shoulders. They're right in the muscle. Okay. Then you put your feet inside there. So you have this whole piece. So you should have that X on the back. When I learned this from Carrie, she had us sit like this, which was lovely. And then I came home and just kind of started playing, and it does feel really nice. Takes a little bit more doing, but it does feel nice if you open this up. Okay, so then you have this support. All right, so hopefully you're all tied in there, and just close your eyes for a moment. And turn your attention to your breath. And you can feel how the ribs press up against the band, how the Theraband expands and contracts as you breathe. Especially breathe into your back ribs where you feel that band coming. You can open your eyes for a sec. Over in this spot over here, the ribs down here. And you can feel the interconnectedness of the entire body, right? Even where the forearms, my hands are resting on my knees, but where the forearms are just touching the band, you can feel that expand and stretch as you inhale and contract as you exhale. So just take the time to tune in, settle your mind. And then you can open your eyes again. Easiest way to do this is to press with the back of the hands so that you keep it wide, and you can switch the cross in your legs. These do, it takes a little doing to get used to working with these. And they do, you know, if you get it in the wrong place, they do snap up at you sometimes, but they're really not going to hurt you. It's just a little bit alarming when that happens. Okay, so interlace your fingers, take your arms up. And release. And switch. Release, bring the arms down. Okay, turn to your right. So it's kind of cool to feel these moving with you. In a way, it assists you, right, when you're turning. And when you're turning back, you can feel these sort of side movements, the movement of the bands. And you can always adjust. If it rides up on you a little bit, you just adjust it. You feel your rib cage, your left rib cage pressing up against the band there. Try not to let it shrink away from the band too much, nor do you want it to be really pushing out into the band, but so that can help to really keep you aligned. Come back to center. Okay, so now you stretch your legs out, open the back of the knees, and then some of you guys were really, really good at keeping the band open like this. If you have bony feet, if you have like a little bunion, I know bunions are usually on the inside, but some people have stuff going on out here, you may want to wear socks. I know some of you did that. You put on socks and it made like the world of difference, because it's right now it's fine, right? Because the band is stretched out here and you can be in a nice supported Dandasana. Right? But for what we're going to be doing next, it's a little bit harder to keep the band from kind of rolling up. So you cross it. If you have a good Paschimottanasana, you can keep your legs straight. If you need to bring your feet in and then straighten out again, you can certainly do that, right? And adjust where needed. If you need to put something soft in here as well, you can do that. Go and get a pair of socks or whatever, something like that, to put in there if that's hurting you. Okay, so here's Dandasana once again. And then the last thing, the last way it goes around the feet, the last way it can go around the feet, at least I think, is to put it in between the big toes there. And as we said in class, this is really good for bunions, to working against bunions. Right? So you spread your toes as much as you can. So I'm going to stay like this. And you don't have to turn around, but I'm going to. Okay, I'm going to stay like this. And what I'm going to do is lie on my back. Adjusting my clothing. Okay, lie on the back. And you can have your arms by your side, so you're in Urdhva Prasarita Padasana now. And just play a little bit with bringing the legs down and bringing them up. If you have any lower back issues and this bothers you, you can still take a blanket and put it underneath your buttocks. That should help. Also, you can hang on to the side of the mat here. Okay, so for some of you guys, after a little while, this in between the toe thing, it gets a little old, right? It's good for a certain amount of time. So if you need to go back here, you can do that. Okay, I have it around the feet now, but it's still crossed. If it weren't crossed, it would probably flip up off the feet when I went down here. Okay, so you're just playing, feeling what happens. It actually helps you. It makes it more challenging to go down, and the belt helps you because it wants to be shorter, right? When you extend the belt it gets harder to do. And I think at full extension, I think what I remember is this is like worth 4 pounds of weight, I want to say. I might be a little off on that, but I think at full extension, it's like having a 4-pound weight. Okay, so then you can make circles. Your circles can be big, they can be small. You can stay, if you do small circles, it's like you're massaging just around the sacrum and the SI joints. Make your circles the other way. If you go bigger, switch directions again, you're actually moving the hips now. So my hips, the pelvic bones are coming off the floor a little bit. And then change directions. Try to keep your knees firm. The legs aren't bending. Try to keep the toes spread. And now we'll do figure eights. And figure eight the other way. Notice how I wasn't talking while I was doing that, because they wouldn't have been figure eights otherwise. Okay, and now you're going to go, I'm going to tuck in a little bit here. You're going to go a little bit further with this, and now you bring the buttocks up a little bit. And maybe you roll up, and you go back. And you roll up. It pulls you up nicely. You go up. No arms. Halasana. Dandasana. Halasana. Your feet don't have to touch the floor. Dandasana, even Paschimottanasana. Halasana. If you shouldn't do Halasana or it hurts your neck to be in that position, then just skip that. Don't go as far. You can maybe go here, lifting the buttock up a little bit. And then, once you get some momentum going, you hold boat pose. And then gently come down. And do it again. And hold boat pose. And then come down. Okay. This rides up. So hopefully you haven't gotten your hair stuck yet. Therabands. Okay, I put my hands behind me and I lift the chest. You're going to find that this belt, this Theraband, it makes Purvottanasana more challenging because when you go up, it's pressing down on you, right? So there's that 3.5 or whatever, 4 pounds of weight that wants to bring you back down here, right? So this is good for strengthening. It's like when you put on ankle weights and you do some exercises with ankle weights and then later on you take them off and you feel fabulous. Now notice what I'm doing with my feet. With the belt like that, if I were to go all the way down with my feet, the belt would snap toward my heels. So I'm going to switch that. I'm going to put it in between the toes, so hopefully it won't go anywhere. It's still crossed. I lift the chest. See, now I can point the feet a little bit more without worrying. I can grip the toes. And release. here. I think I'm going to have my head this way. Again, if you need to skip shoulder stand, that's fine. This is actually a little bit of work with Niralamba. You can continue to do the leg raises. Okay. So Niralamba. And then I roll down. Not staying there long. Niralamba. And I roll down. I'm also not, I don't have blankets, so I'm not trying to get to the tops of my shoulders, like if I had a stack of blankets, okay? And you roll down. Extend your legs, extend your arms. Now what you're going to do is to slip your left foot out of the band. So it's only on the right foot now, and then you can bring your arms out to the sides. And then bring your right leg up into Supta Padangusthasana. So you don't really need any hands for this. And if you still want to work here, maybe I'll work here again. I like to work here as long as I can. You know, as long as the toe can tolerate it, it's a good place to be. All right, so I just give myself a break by putting it around the whole foot. Okay, Supta Padangusthasana. And then you're going to play, going to the side. It's going to assist you on the way up. It's going to be easier to come up. Play, going to the side. If this band decides to roll up on you and it gets uncomfortable, you just bring it down. Inhale, come up. And go to the side. Inhale, come up. And then you're going to switch. So this is really good for your toe dexterity. Right? Most of us have, all of us really, you have a lot more understanding in the hands, but when it comes to doing things like that with the toes, it's important to work with that sometimes. Okay, so the intelligence of the feet, out to the side, and come up, and out to the side, and come up. So it's like when you go to the side, and if I were to do this with no belt or anything, I would not be going this far. If I went this far, I would feel like I'm going to fall over. Right? So this can give you some feedback. It can create a strengthening in the inner thigh and in the outer hip and give you feedback at the same time. But those of you, especially if you have arthritis in the hands, inhale, come up, and doing that gripping onto the belt all the time, as lightly as we do it, it can be bothersome. Out to the side and come up. Okay, so I go back in with both toes, or if you want to put it around the feet, that's fine. And I'm going to go all the way over to Jatara Parivartanasana. So do you see how my feet are hovering over my hand? They haven't gone to the floor. And come on up. If you need to, if you get stuck down here and you're like, oh my God, how am I going to get back up? Bend your legs and you can use this hand to push yourself back up. I don't want anybody getting hurt or getting strained. To the side and come up. Other side. Back to center. To the left again. Back to center. One more time to the left. Back to center. Okay. Take that off the toes. Put it out here again. As I said earlier, if you want to open it up and have it more flat, if this is painful for you, then you go ahead and do that. So what I'm going to do, this thing is so much more elastic than we think. I'm going to give myself a little bit more space to work with up here. Okay, so then I'm going to push out. You see how I'm bouncing? I'm not trying to bounce. That's that's the belt wanting to bring my legs back in. But when you bring the legs out like this, I'm leading with the heels, you'll feel a strengthening going on in the outer hips and in the front of the hips here too. And then you slowly go back in with as much control as you can muster, and you press out and go back in. Make sure you're breathing. Out. Back in. And now we're going to go back to making circles, but we're going to make circles with the feet wide like this. All right, so you're going to have to be a little more conscious of the movement to keep your feet as evenly distanced apart as you can. So circle, you'll feel the abdomen kick in too here. And then circle the other way. My knees really like to face each other. I don't have to lead with my heels as much as some of you. Some of you guys are more like this. Can you see? Right, more externally rotated. And so therefore you have to lead with your heels more. I just looked at my knees and noticed I'm like that. So you want to be in Tadasana legs. Okay, circle again. I forgot which direction I was going in. 1, 2, 3. And then circle the other way. Last time. 1, 2, 3. And now you're probably good and tired. So you can come on up, kick the wall, and take your belt off. Okay, careful getting this off because it will get caught in the hair. And so now you should feel pretty free. Right, not having that on anymore. Right, so just reacquaint yourself with what your body feels like without that apparatus on it. And breathe. And then switch the cross in your legs. And then open your eyes again. Just want to do a little bit standing, just a little bit. This was certainly not everything that Elizabeth and I learned at that workshop that we took. There's so much stuff, so much that I've probably forgotten. I'm going to have to confer with Elizabeth again and see if she remembers other stuff. Something you can do, which is fun, be careful, is to step wide, right? And now I have this to work with here. Okay, shoulder problem, people, you have to decide what's good for you, what's not good for you, right? So here, you take the arms up, and down, up, and down. And the beauty of working with this is that you can feel every little movement. And the idea is to not just push up and then forget about it on the way down. Part of the work is to maintain a kind of a smooth resistance as you both go up and down. Okay, notice I'm not letting my elbows splay too much out to the sides. I go up and I come down, and then you can go to the side, okay, turning in the waist. You can go up and to the side. You just play with this. You can go down and to the side. Back to center. You go up and over the head. Okay. Arms are straight. And then you bring that all the way down, and you can grab on this way. I like to go down a little bit, so it's a little more. The higher up I go here, the more floppy it gets over here. This is easier on the triceps. You can use your butt to hold it, and you you go down lower, so there's more resistance there. And so now this gives me more of a workout as I go back in the triceps. And in the rhomboids too, I'm bringing my shoulder blades together or toward each other. And then you can release, step the legs together. These are 8 feet long and then tied at the end. So if you happen to have a box of, they sell these on Amazon. I bought a 50-foot roll, but they have 25 feet rolls, so you would get like three bands out of it. If all of your family members want to practice with you. Notice I'm not bending my elbows. And then you can make some circles. Actually, give yourself a little bit more width in the legs to do this. Still not bending my elbows, I hope. I don't think I'm bending them. Go the other way. You can do this with a belt too. You do it with a belt all the time. But this just gives you a little bit more feedback. Go up again, down, and up, and down. Other things you can do, which I don't really think I can show you right here. You could tie this, if I'm going out of the camera, I have my hooks for my rope wall right here. I have a hook about hip height, which is about the height of a doorknob, right? So what you could do is if you wanted, say you had a shoulder to rehab or something, this is going to be pretty tight all the way up there, so let me tie it. And you kind of figure it out as you go, like how tight you need it on the doorknob, how loose it should be. I'm doing sort of a makeshift thing right here just so I can stay over here. So what we can do is your doorknob would be on that side. It would be ideal to hold a blanket or something, or a towel. It just kind of keeps you honest, holding a blanket or a towel like this, so you know your elbow's not going to move around. I give myself, I put myself exactly in line so that from the doorknob to my hand is a straight line. I'm not back nor forward. And then you come out and you go in, and you come out and you go in. And you're hanging on to this thing, and it starts to slip, and you're hanging on, right? So it keeps you honest. And then the other way you can do, right, I'm still in line with this thing. The other way you can do is to go here, get more stretch, and back, and out to the side, and back, Okay, so this is getting different muscles in the rotator cuff group, right? Whether you're going in like this or out like that. Okay, so you can play with that. And the last thing I'll show you for now is Tadasana here. And I did want to get you back in to the harness belt a couple of times because it's easy to do it when you're following. It's maybe not easy to do it when you're following somebody. It's you think you remember it, and then you go to get in again, and you're like, what did she do? What was that? Right? So it's going to go over your head. You pull from the top here, right? You pull from right at the pecs there, and then you get that long piece down there. Then it crosses in the back, remember? And if you have some mobility issues, most of you don't, but you can have a chair here to use. When you put this over your butt like that, you could sit in your chair to do the rest of it, okay? But since I can get down, I'm gonna go here. Now, it's on my feet, but remember, it's not crossed. So it's not gonna stay on my feet. It's not gonna do what I want it to do unless I bring it in front of my feet and then cross it. And then step in it. And now it's all going to be a leap of faith. This is where everybody's like, oh my God, this is going to snap on me. Here's your Tadasana. Okay, and you can adjust. Okay, so it should, I think anyway, on most of you, be able to stay inside the pelvic bones. If you bring your feet together, you get a little bit more room there. I don't feel as stable with my feet together, so I'm a little happier with them to the sides like this. Plus, it gives me a little more feedback. Okay, so here's your Tadasana. And you breathe, and you could do all kinds of arm positions here. Right, but let this part here, don't try to walk around. Let this part here help to bring you back, right? And this is where I need work, where some of us need work to not be here, right? Some of us need the other, where you don't want to be here either. But you just try to come to as neutral of a Tadasana as you can get. And let this help you to shift your weight back into your heels. And you can close your eyes. And you might get that sensation that the head is just kind of floating on top of the neck, which is a lovely sensation for those of us who have neck pain. Always figuring out where to put the head, how to hold your head up. And then go ahead and open your eyes, and you can reach down, and since we're here, you can come. Now this is a hair tangler, all right? So if you have hair that's hanging out over here, know that this is going to roll up your back a little bit. You got to get all your hair out of the way, because you see, maybe you can't see, I don't know. You see how that's moving? It brings me into a deeper Uttanasana. And then you can bend your legs, inhale and come up, You can come down again. This time bend your legs a little bit. Take this off. You can put it on the toes once again. And come to dog pose. Doesn't have to be on the toes. It can still be on the outer edges of your feet. And then come down to your knees. Here's a doozy. And I know I said that was the last thing I was going to show you before, right? And I'm still talking, right? I have nothing else to do, so we might as well do this, right? You can tuck your toes underneath. Can't even go outside today, it's raining. Tuck the toes underneath and sit on the heels. I know this is not a happy place for some of you, but you do your best. Go easy if you are a person with a bone spur there, that big toe joint. And then back. Go to Virasana, or Vajrasana rather. And then I'm going to turn around. You don't have to. You can come to Baddha Konasana. Go here. And you could take Supta Baddha Konasana. If you want to have your blankets underneath your hips for that, you're welcome to do that. If you want to have a blanket under your head, you can do that, but just rest here in Baddha Konasana, Supta Baddha Konasana. Breathe and relax. And just let this be a brief Shavasana for you. You can still feel, maybe not as much before, but a little bit of where the back ribs are touching the band. How the band is coming across the insides of the pelvic bones here. And feel that contraction and release of the muscles as you breathe. And then you can take your hands to your outer thighs, help your outer thighs up a little bit. Wiggle one foot out. Carefully take the other leg out. Just stretch your legs straight for a moment. And take a deep inhalation. And full exhalation. And then bend your legs, roll onto your side, and push yourself up. Again, carefully take this off. Hope nobody got tangled up. And I will see you another day. Like I said, text me if you live in Huntington or wherever close by and you want to pick one up. Namaste.